KO. Alright, we need to figure out how to deal with these kind of errors. We could say, if whatever the error is, if not this, or if this, then exit with this error code. Okay, could do that. Let me test something. Excuse me. Don't have C standard library yet. Which gives us standard exit. Boom. There was no assert. What if we said oh, I don't even know how to do it. Oh, I think I have to include C assert or assert. Yeah, I think it's assert.h maybe. Bunch of functions are getting called we can't see. Gotcha. You'd have to know in order to set something there to figure it out. So if we assume that output isn't a way to do it, because there's going to be too much output. Yeah, and if it terminates via standard exit, it means that it returned with that value, or went returned to main, or returned, something like that. It kept returning with a shitty value, and then eventually exited with 5, or whatever the code is. Which means that we lost the call stack, and once we get the error, or once we end the program, we don't see the call stack or anything that's pending or where the error is at. Oh, abort. There it is. Abort is what it was. And I think abort. Oh, it's actually just straight up abort. Bump. Abort. Press retry to debug the application. Retry. Ooh. So we can have these asserts or aborts in different places. And if any of them trigger, instead of it just outputting something and then it getting lost in the stream, boom, it kills the program and says, yo, here I am. Insta. Like a breakpoint, except you put the breakpoint in advance. Like, if you fuck up, put a breakpoint there and show me. Boom, there's the proof. Preconditions versus post conditions. So, like, a post condition seems like we say, hey, something exists. Now, if it exists at this value, then we exit. But maybe that's more easy than doing if that, then abort. We just say assert that. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, if it's 0, we can't divide by 0, so then air it out and return. And then if that didn't happen, boom, we do it. The bouncer pattern. You go in. You supposed to be in here, motherfucker? No? Get out! Yep. Oh. Yeah, so we handle the shit here, and then we do this. Instead of saying, if not wrong, then do this, and then do it. Instead of saying, if we're not having an error, do this, otherwise leave. Bro, instead just say, if it's fucked up, leave. Kick him out. Check first. Peek into the input buffer and see, is there shit in there that shouldn't be? Then we ignore, and then we retry. Or, oh, did we fail? Then we retry. But if we didn't, then continue. Don't check and if not failed, continue, and then otherwise do it. Just fail it out immediately. So we check our test case, and then we handle the error insta. Yep. More nesting. Instead of saying this, bop. And it seems like we could just assert something and then boom, return. An invariant while some it's true while something is executed for loops. So there's a prevariant. What is it called? A prevariant? Prevariant, right? Fuck. Precondition. Damn it. There's a precondition. We check it, and then we run some shit. And then we're running the loop. The loop is running. We've evaluated it. Well, I mean, I guess you could say you started running a for loop, and then you create this variable, and then you check, but you're still running the loop, and then you quit. So it's an invariant. So we're running while something is happening. But if it's a while case, seems kind of weird because we're checking while first, and we only execute while it's true. So it seems like it could be a precondition. The loop body will only execute so long as the invariant is true. And I guess you could say that the while loop is the loop. So we're actually executing the while loop by saying while. Okay, we're executing the while loop. Ooh, the invariant is false. Don't continue and then get out. Oh, a class invariant. What would that be? Like, this object of a certain class is only valid if something isn't fucked up. Like, if a human exceeds 400 pounds in the video game, then make it fall through the earth because it's fat as fuck. So the invariant is the character's weight. And then we have code. So we execute the stuff, the object exists. But if that shit changes while we're in it, boom, gone. And a post condition is we true afterwards. So we run something and then we check afterwards to do it. So we run a calculation, like we run some sum function. Is the sum too big? Fail. Or we have a precondition where we say, is the parameter too big? If it's overflowing, we can't add shit, Is it too big? Like, if it's the largest value, then, and we're talking about unsigned ints, we can't add anything else because we're going to overflow the bitch. So if we're doing unsigned int addition, we got to assert that the thing is smaller than the maximum value. It at least has to be one smaller so we can add one. But if it's the max value, we can't add shit without it overflowing. Or we can have the postfix being, if we're adding something to a big number and it's an unsigned int, and our result is smaller than our than either operand, or is smaller than both operands, it's okay to be smaller than one. But if it's smaller than both, then we know that, hey, we overflowed because we got a smaller number when we should have gotten a bigger number. Like incrementing something in a loop, but then getting a smaller increment, like, it's not possible. Well, it could be. It's just unsigned. It's not what we want. A shortcut. Yeah, instead of printing and then terminating, we're saying, hey, if this, then abort via standard abort. We just say, yo, assert this. And then if it's not true, Gondis. Cool. I wonder how the post condition versus pre works. If it's pre, does it have its own scope, stuff that's inside it? And if it's post, does it not? And then it just evaluates based on previous stuff? I don't know how you distinguish between pre and post conditions, not post and pre variant. Damn. Okay, do we have an assertion? That's true. Unless there's some fucked up stuff. Okie doker. If it's false, cool. Contains the expression that failed as text. An expression is the evaluation that failed, meaning the false, along with the name of the code and the line number. Oh shit. Meaning, it would be like abort character weight is greater than 400, or is greater than or equal to 400. Because we only want to proceed if we have human size. Well, at this point, we may as well say 300. We only want human sized humans. So we say greater than 300. Let's say 350, because you could be let's say 4. Fuck it. You could be a massive strong man for 400, maybe. Like, let's see Eddie Hall's maximum weight. Max. Alright, so we could say 500. If you ever weighed 500, you're done. It's over. Error message contains the expression that failed, so is greater than 500. That's the expression. Expressions are just code that evaluates to a result. So x could be an expression. X plus 4 is an expression. All these things they could return. Semicolon, it's a null statement. So no, there's no expression. There's no result. And I'm going to be more concrete with my statements instead of saying, oh, maybe, maybe not. I'm going to say something. That way, if I keep saying something and then later on I'm proven wrong, boom, it hits like a truck and I fix what was wrong. It's like if I thought I was fucking 5'8" my whole life, and then later on someone's like, yo, actually you're 5'7". I'm like, ah, my God, I'm actually 5'7". Everything else was a lie. It's much better than saying, maybe 8, maybe 9, and then someone says 7, and then, like, it doesn't contradict my belief as much. Contradicting a belief is probably a pretty good way to learn. Like, you answer a question, and it's wrong, then I learn. Instead of saying A or B, and then it's like, oh, hey, well, you weren't, like, fully wrong. I mean, you weren't committing to being wrong. You were non-committal. It's better to be committal. Like, a divorce is probably more painful than some kind of weird ass relationship shit that's not fully solidified when it breaks up. That's like, it doesn't matter as much. So, okay, expression as text along with the name of the code, the name of the code file. Okay, like where it was and the line. So it'd be like main.cpp human weight blah 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 and the line number. That's cool. So yeah, where it is in where it is, what failed. Wowzer, that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, immensely is the right word here. Fuck, it is C assert. Damn. We've never messed around with .h yet. It's probably some like pre-downloaded IDE shit from VS22. Oh. Yep, because we did have an assert, so we saw the input or the output, but then we didn't actually see it because it was killed or it wasn't visible long enough or something like that. And then later on, oh, the character wasn't damaged. Oh, why? It's because the freaking sword hit the wall when I swung. And I'm not at the point in the game where the sound has been added or particles, so there's no way to like know if I swing like this and I see the sword come down and I have collisions on, but I don't have any sound effects or visuals, it hits the roof and then I see it hit the guy and it's like, why is his health not going down? Oh, ding, right there. That's when the assert hits. Yo, you hit the roof. Boom. We have a variable that gets tracked along the path of the sword has been interrupted or something like that. And then we can test, oh, what was it interrupted by? Flesh?
Damage it.
No?
Do not.
Something like that. Or a character? Something like that. But it should really be what. Not just who, but what. Because some things shouldn't be damageable. But some things should. And then other things, like you should be able to damage the armor that somebody's wearing. It's not just if you hit them do damage. Check where it got hit. Because I want a different sound effect for hitting this versus this. This is like fabricy sound versus that meat. Yup. KO. Alright, I gotta pee.